Good afternoon, everyone. Let's take a look at square roots today. Square root. Here we go. We have b squared equals a. b is the square root of a. Let's take a look at what it actually looks like for an example. If you have 3 squared, 3 times 3 is 9. So if you take the square root of 9, you will get a positive 3 and a negative 3. Those two are the square roots of 9. Because you can take 3 and square it, you get 9. If you take negative 3 and square it, you still get 9. So 3 and negative 3 are square roots. Please make note of this. On this page, I would like you guys to notice what is the symbol here, right? The little check mark looking symbol is called the radical symbol, so please make sure you note that. And then the radicand. The radicand is what's underneath the radical. That's called the radicand, so that we all have common vocabulary. All right. Let's take a look at our next page. Now, if you take the square root of 36, it is plus or minus 6. And it has a plus or minus inside, out in front here. So when they have something like that, they're trying to let you know that they want the plus or the minus of whatever the root is. So your answer would be plus or minus 6. Square root of 49. Well, 7 times 7 gets you 49. It has nothing written in front, so you're to assume it wants the positive root. So it's positive 7. If you have a negative out in front, you're to assume that they want the negative root. The square root of 4 is 2, but they want the negative of it, so your answer is negative 2. Let's take a look at some questions for you to answer. For some reason it's not working. Let's try that again. There we go. Can you please pause your video and see if you can come up with the square root of these 4 terms? Welcome back. This is asking you to take the square root of 9, the negative of it. So the square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. So we get negative 3. Square root of 25, you're supposed to assume it's positive, so it's a positive 5. Plus or minus square root 64. So the square root of 64, 8 times 8, so it's an 8, and we put the plus or minus sign out in front. This is to assume that it's a negative square root of 81, so therefore your answer should be negative 9, because 9 times 9 gave you 81. All right, let's take a look at our next example. In order to do your next example, you need to understand that the perfect squares are the opposite of square roots. So you would want to take some time to memorize the perfect squares to the best of your ability. I would start off by memorizing 1 through 10, the perfect squares. Then add a couple of these each day as we go through this unit. The top of a folding table is a square whose area is 945 square inches. Approximate the side length of the tabletop to the nearest inch. Well, if we're looking at a square, and I'm trying to draw with this, so sorry it doesn't look so nice. And you're supposed to get the area by multiplying this side by this side. So we need to think of numbers that will multiply together to get you close to 945. A number that's close to that is the number 9 is in the front, so probably 900. So let's try 900. If you have 900 is close to 945, that would happen if you took 30 times 30. So this is awfully close to the 30 times 30. Gets you 900, so the square root of that is 30. So if we say, what's the square root of 900, you would say my final answer is simply a 30. So you've got to be close to 30, maybe just a little bit above it. So let's take a look at what the answer should be according to the book. They say, let's see, they're talking about how it's a solution. We're going to go ahead and skip to the next one. 945 is not a perfect square, but if you square 30, you get 900. If you square 31, you get 961. Notice that 945 lies between these two numbers. So the least perfect square would have to be 30, and then we could use 31. So the square root of 945 is between 30 and 31. Let's take a look at examples for you to try. please try these 4 questions, and I will help you out on number 8. Take a look at number 8 and go back to your perfect squares. Go back a few slides and notice we have 324, 289, and 361. So which two does this lie between? Let's go back to the slide we were on. 350. So that is between the 324 and the 361. So what were the square roots again? Let's go back and double check. 18 and 19. So for that one, let me go back. You know that it's somewhere between 18 and 19. So we could go ahead and write the negative. And we would write 18. Or could it be negative 19? It's in between there. Which one should we choose? I'll give you guys that answer before I ask you to do the rest, because the other ones are a little bit easier. It's closer to the negative 19 because 361 is closer to the 19. Okay, pause your video and go ahead and try 5, 6, and 7, getting an approximate square root. Welcome back. 32. The square root of 6 because it's close to the square root of 36. 103 is awfully close to 100, so it would be square root 10. And 48. We have 7 times 7 is 49, so it's awfully close to that. So we would say negative 7 is the approximate answer. All right. Thank you for listening, and I will see you guys tomorrow.